Let's first pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming, homage to Master Sakya Zengkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubden Dorji, homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, the greatly merciful and compassionate, and the greatly responsive Avalokitesvara Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Sumu Tanzeng Katso Tutan Siddhi, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
愛してるシャランエオラミコケケロムチョすごい一番気持ちいい住民ヤッピープリンプリンこんにちは感恩心跳每一次坐在这个法座上
Every time seated on this
就是想睡觉
Dharma throne, I always feel sleepy, and when I feel sleepy, I would forget what I need to say. But tomorrow I will be normal. Tomorrow I'll be normal. Every time at night it's the same. Recently the same. That at night I would perform the 1,000 Dharma vessels Bardu deliverance, and as I practice, continue on, and when it's about to end, that's about it, and when I get on bed, I would do protection. Then I would first chant to be reborn in the Pure Land, leaving behind all sufferings, and Amitabha, Golden Mother, and then Chinten the Buddha, and then I would perform the protection. And halfway, and then when I wake up in the morning, I would discover I did not finish it. It often happened like that. That sleep is the happiest time. It's the happiest thing. So please don't blame me that I'm falling asleep on this Dharma throne. Every time, whenever I sit on this Dharma throne, it's always that way. But the Dharma throne at the Rainbow Temple, it's okay. It's not like this. One time, it was really bad. I almost tumbled over, seated on this Dharma throne. And then I saw the one behind me, which is Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and he put a seatbelt on me. From here to here. Put a seatbelt on me so I didn't wobble or tumble over. Thank you, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Because Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is closest to me. So one of his arm extended and then put on the seatbelt for me. I am a bit embarrassed. Now my brain's blank. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Feeling dumb. Typically, what would I say at this point? Jokes. No. Because we did our Lokitesvara Bodhisattva. Of course, I would talk about her first, right? And you said joke. Well, good thing that I became awake a little bit. Otherwise, you would brought me away to tell jokes instead. What should I talk about? Our Lokitesvara Bodhisattva. She's very responsive. We always want to pray to our Lokitesvara Bodhisattva. Every night when I perform Vajra deliverance, must be the Pure Land Trinity, Amitabha Buddha, our Lokitesvara Bodhisattva, and Master Dhammaprapta Bodhisattva. So we definitely need them for Vajra deliverance because we want to send them off to the Sukhavati, right? The Western Paradise. So they are the Pure Land Trinity from the West, of the West. And our Lokitesvara Bodhisattva has the most transformation bodies, myriads, zillions of them. So I feel that a great Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas are numerous. They are all his transformation bodies. Like the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, or the 11 face Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. They are very illustrious. I remember in Tibet, the Songtsen Gampo, the first one, the first Tibetan king who promoted Buddhism, Songtsen Gampo. He was a transformation body of the 11-faced Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Truly great. And the four-arm Guan Yin, the four-arm Avalokitesvara or Chenrezig, Chenrezig spiritual center is the whole Tibet, all over Tibet. And he also manifested a white Tara, green Tara. There are also transformation of Avalokitesvara. and many more deities.
我们称准提佛母。
And Jundi Buddha Mother, we also refer to her as Jundi Kuan Yin. And Hayagriva, we also refer to him as Hayagriva Avalokitesvara, the horse-headed Avalokitesvara. And Mahapratisara, Amugabhasa Avalokitesvara. So his transformation bodies are myriad, innumerable. So in the Saha world, the sentient beings delivered by Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, we can say is number one, first and foremost. In his deliverance of sentient beings. Therefore, many people have Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva as their yidam or main meditational deity, including white Tara, green Tara, and all kinds of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas. So, if you have Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva as your yidam, and if you gain spiritual union with any one of the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, then it will be very easy for you to gain spiritual union with the rest of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas. And you would be in union with them. Actually, I was thinking for the grand ceremony this time, the California for small girls, only one of the four came, which is Teresa Wei came. But it's drought in California all along. They didn't have any rain. So Master Lian Seng prayed and asked me for California, and I said, okay, I remember, I will pray. And sure enough, they got some raindrops after a long drought. But please don't clap yet, because there were only 2 drops, which means just a little bit of rain. It's been raining twice, but not enough. Not enough, right? So, at this grand ceremony, I was thinking that if the 4 great mothers from California all came, Teresa Wei, who else? Linda Chung, who else? Ruby, I think Ruby, Sun and Amy Jiang. So California's 4 small girls, if they were all here, and Ruby's son has gained spiritual union with Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. She was the first one who gained spiritual union with Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. If all 4 of them came together, and at our Dragon King tablet at our temple here, I would ask them to pray to the Dragon King together, then there would be heavy rain in California. Why all 4 of them have to come together? Because the four of them breathe the same breath. One is Amy-san, and with the other three, altogether 4 powers. In the past, they had prayed once, and immediately they got the response. Immediately heavy rain in California. It's a pity that there was only one that came this time. The other 3 did not come. Of course, I could not force them. Could not force all 4 of them to come. If 4 of them stood in front of the Dragon King, the Dragon King would stand up. And then if they join their palms and pray, the Dragon King would immediately go to California. So let's see who has the power. 4 of them coming together and pray to the Dragon King. And Grandmaster asking Golden Mother, just casually told Golden Mother. The other day I said, sure. I said, and I told Golden Mother, there's drought in California, and Master Lien Sung gave me a small offering to me, and I've taken the money. So it wouldn't be right if we don't let some rain drop. So let's please do something. Please give face to me. And sure enough, just some nectar, which is only 2 drops. They had great power. Because the other day, Amy-san had gained spiritual response with Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Because each has its own cause and condition. If Grandmaster prayed to the Dragon King, he would also agree. Because Grandmaster himself has gained spiritual union with Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha. And Avalokiteshvara is Amitabha Buddha's disciple. Then of course if I ask the Dragon King, he would agree. But I could not ask him. Because the affinity or the causes and conditions are at the Amy-san and the 4 great ladies. Because if it were me who asked, it would kind of like burden the Dragon King. So everything has its own affinity. The 4 great ladies, they were the 4 great beauties when they were young. And if 4 of them prayed together, the dragon can only obey. Then he would definitely. Avalokiteshvara is very compassionate. Especially if it's Ruby-san came bringing Avalokiteshvara with her, then she would have great power. So that's about the affinity. And as for me, I got home and I just told Golden Mother, well, because I have accepted someone's offering. It wasn't that much. But it's not that bad either. It's not much, but it's not that little either. But I have accepted the money, so I have to tell Golden Mother. And Golden Mother just give a face to Grandmaster. That's all. But the affinity is at Ruby Sun and the four great ladies. It's a pity that they did not come for the ceremony this time. Amitabha. So sometimes help, salvation and deliverance, it depends on affinity and causes and conditions. It's not like Grandmaster can do everything. I have to delegate some work to them too. Now it's time for jokes. There's a chubby doll prayed to God, God, if you cannot make me lose weight, please make all my friends as fat.
A
young man
找一个方圆数百里，人称铁果直断的算命师。
looking for a fortune teller.
算命师看了很久很久，才说
from faraway
你
places
下一
that's
辈
very
子会有
accurate.
很多很多的女
And the
朋友。
fortune teller looked at me for a very, very long time and then told
也没
me
有
that
问
in your next life you would have
每
many,
当
many,
有
many
新的
girlfriends.
女孩
I did not
我向她
ask
表
more,
白的时候，
and then later on I understood because whenever I express my
我喜
love to
欢
a girl,
做我的
I
女
like
朋友
you.
好吗？
Can you be my
这个女
girlfriend?
孩子就
And
都
the
讲了
girl
同一句话
always said the same thing.
下一辈子吧。
Next life.
一辈子时间是很短，
Lifetime
所以
is very
尽量
short.
要早一点结婚。
Therefore, you want to get married
为什么这
earlier.
样子讲呢？
Why?
然后你就会发现，
Then you will
这一辈
discover
子就变得很长。
that this lifetime is very long.
你的问男的，你当初不是讲
The
说我
woman
们
asked the
要
man,
永浴
Didn't
爱
you
河
say that we will be
The
in
man
love river
先生就
forever?
后来
And the
我发
husband
现
said,
我不
well,
会游泳，
but I found out later on that I cannot swim.
那是很痛苦的。所以
That would be very
在
miserable.
痛苦的时候啊，一辈子就很长。
So when you're in misery, then your lifetime is very long.
好了，现在进行
Now
你问我答。
we will do the question and answer.
台湾的
From
莲
Taiwan,
花烘顺，
莲花
烘
烘顺
问的。顶礼敬爱的师尊莲生
homage
活
to
佛。
beloved
弟子
Grandmaster
想请
Living
问
Buddha
师
Lien
尊
Sheng, I would like to
如
ask,
果膝盖有问题的人，
if someone
盘
has knee
腿就会
problems
膝盖疼痛，
and they have pain when they fold
更
their
不可
legs,
能双盘臂如七支坐。
it's impossible
那
to sit
他还
in
有
the
其他
seven
方式
posture.
练习入三昧
position.
地，
Is there
进而修
any
成
other
相
way
知
to
相
enter
应法门？
samadhi
感恩师尊
to
莲生佛
practice
佛
to
弟
gain
子
spiritual
已经感恩。
union with the root guru?
他是问
Thank you, Grandmaster Living Buddha
没
Lien
有
Sheng.
办法，譬如七支坐的，
So
双盘譬如
the
七支
question
坐
is,
的，
those who are impossible to sit in the seven posture,
有什么办法呢？
seven Vairocana
啊
posture
可以
position?
练成上师相应法。
Is there a way to
第一个，
attain
你可以
the
单
root guru deity? Yes.
啊
First,
双盘不
if you
成
cannot sit in the full lotus
你就单
position,
盘
you can sit in the
因
half
为能
lotus
够双盘
position
的人呢，
because
并不是很多。
not many people can sit in
Ah.
a full lotus position.
像师尊个子比较矮，
like Grandmaster, who's rather
腿就比较
short
短，
statues, I have
腿就比较
shorter
短，腿
legs.
长的人很好上
People
来，
with long legs
腿越长的越
can
好
sit
上来，
in lotus position
或者
easily,
他有练过，
or
有
those
练
who
过
have
这个
trained
好像说瑜伽的，
in yoga,
练过瑜伽的，他有拉筋啊，有拉筋啊，
who usually
有
do
这个，他很容
stretches.
易双盘。
It's easy for them to sit cross legs in full lotus
腿短
position.
的，腿
But
粗的
those with short legs or
啊，双盘就很不容易。
big legs, it
他
will be
有些人
difficult
他膝
to
盖也有
sit
问题，
in full lotus
盘起来
position.
他就酸痛，
And some people have knee problems,
Kaya
so
sa
when they sit
三盘
cross
三盘
legs,
实在是很
either in full or half lotus position, would be very difficult.
那个可以单盘，
So you
什么
can
是
sit
单盘？
in half lotus
就是
position.
一只
And what is
腿
that?
拿另外一
One
只腿压在上
leg
面。
and the other leg on
单盘。
top of it.
再来呢，可以如意坐，
Or you can sit
可以如意坐，持在单盘也不
casually.
行，
Not
持在单
casually.
盘也是会痛。你可以如意坐，
According to your
什么是如意坐？
wish. You know, like if you
尽
really
量
cannot
把
do
脚
half lotus,
把脚
is that you just pull
这个
in your
脚
legs
跟啊
as
越
close
接
as
近你的密
possible
的越好，
to your
越
secret
接近
chakra.
越接近你的密的，两只脚
So
的脚跟越接近你的密
the
的越好。
the
那
what
么
I
如
call
果
the
这样
ankle,
子
not the
如意
ankle,
坐
the
也不行
the ball, the footballs, the balls of the feet,
啊，
as
这
close
个
as
如意
possible
坐
to
也
the
不行，
secret chakra.
那就是你
And
再
if
来
you
就是
cannot sit,
随便坐，
uh,
你随便坐啦，
according to your wish, then it would be just sitting casually.
啊，随便坐啦，坐椅子坐也可
如
以，
意
像双盘很多人
Ru'i
会
is
双
like
盘，
according to your
他
wishes,
们盘腿盘的
or the best you can.
就在板凳上，他也可以双盘，一个
And
小
some
板凳，
people
上面
can
一个
sit
圆
in
圆的
full
小
lotus, and some
它也
people
能够
even
双盘。
on a small, just a
啊
small
有
round
些人容易，
uh,
有些人困
chi-
难。那其
chair
实是不
or
勉强，
stool. They
最
can
主要
even
是
sit
让
that,
你坐的
you
舒
know,
服，
but we don't force it. So
坐
best
的挺
is that
胸，
you
胸
sit
挺起来，
comfortably
尽量往
and
后
that
坐，
your
后面
torso
稍
is
微高一点，
upright,
后
you
面稍微
sit
高一点，
as back as
你胸部会
possible,
挺起来，胸部会挺
and then
挺直，让你脊
the
椎
back is a little bit
要挺
higher, you know, the
脊
seat,
椎
the back,
挺直，
so that your
啊，坐
spine
姿
is
非常端
straight
正。
and you sit upright.
啊，师尊写文章啊，
When
写
Grandmaster
文章的时候姿
writes,
势不是很好。
my posture is not good.
我一只手在写
Really.
文章啊，这只手
When
就
I
这样
write, my other hand's like that.
这样的姿势实在是不好看。
My posture is really bad.
那已经习惯了，每一次写文章都这样的。
But it's my habit
那起
every
来的时
time.
候啊，
I'm
就
used to it.
哎呀，
And when
而且
I
靠双手，师尊双手
stand
很有
up,
力。
I
师尊的双手
rely
是比
on
较有
my
力。
arms. My arms are very strong.
啊，要靠双手把它挺起来，
So I rely on my arms to
还是有练的，不是没有
to
练。
get up, to
练站
straighten
桩。
up.
啊
And
练
my
站桩啊
legs,
我们
I
那个
also train them. It's not that I
还有
don't.
练马步，
Like
练
I
站桩，练马步。
the standing
脚的
posture
实
or
在
the
是
horse
要双盘
stance,
也是很困难。
but
我当然
it
可
is
以
quite difficult for me to
双盘也是
form the full lotus position. But half lotus is fine.
对，那个当然，那其实随便做，
Of course, actually,
你只要把你的
if
心
even
啊
sitting casually,
能够专
as
一，
long as your mind can be
就能够上师相应，
focused,
或者任何一个法都可以相应。
can be in concentration, then you can
重
gain
要是
spiritual union
在
with Root
心
Guru or any other Dhamma
跟念，
practice. So
例如
primarily
其
is
实做
in
为
the
什么会
mind
比较
or
容
in
易
the
相应？
thought. Why it's easier to gain spiritual response when you sit in the 7 Vajra posture position? Because it would make your spine straight. And the other postures, you have to watch for yourself that your torso has to be upright, that the spine has to be straight. And if you can quiet your mind down, and to focus your thought on one, that would be the yoga of concentration. So if your thoughts are focused, then it's easy to gain spiritual union. But if you cannot be focused, although the 7 posture position can lessen your thoughts, but if you cannot focus it into one, if you cannot be single-minded, then you still cannot gain spiritual response. So you start from the external posture, full lotus and cross-legged, until you can be in concentration and single-minded. And so through this Dharma practice, this way you can gain spiritual union with the root guru or yidam or all other Dharma practices. So the 7 posture position is just external, but the key point is internal, your mind, your thoughts, your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. That's the key points. So we cannot say that those who cannot sit in the 7 posture position will not gain spiritual response. That's not the case. That's my answer to Lian Hua Feng Sun from Taiwan. Although you cannot sit in the 7 posture position, you can still sit in the either half lotus or the best you can according to wishes, or to sit casually, or just sit upright. That's fine too. That's allowed, all the same. That's my answer to Lian Hua Feng Sun from Taiwan. From Indonesia, Lian Hua Yiru. Homage to lineage root Guru, His Holiness Living Buddha Lien Sung. Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom. Grandmaster, your disciple from Indonesia, Lien Hua Yiru, would like to ask one. Before sleep, I would perform the sleep and dream great radiant yoga, but if in the middle of the night I have to go to the bathroom, do I need to repeat it? Second, and if there is a true Buddha disciple who did real practice, but after he's passed away and being cremated and the ashes being scattered in the ocean, will it affect his descendants? So the first one. So about the sleep and dream, the great radiance Dharma practice, there are many different kinds. One is Om, the white light emitted. The red light emitted. And the white light and the red light combined together. And Hom, the blue light emitted. And then the 3 kinds of lights, bang, it would become like the fireworks, become a net, coming down, covering your whole bed with Om, Hom, to strengthen the net, to strengthen the net, and you sleep amidst the light.
也有一个方法，因为睡眠跟睡
And
眠
there's
最有
another
关的
method
是
that's
喉
related to the sleep.
这个喉咙，
The throat is related to your
就
sleep.
啊一声而已，
And you just say one syllable, ah.
红光出去，
And the red light would be emitted.
棒，
And with
变成一个
bang,
红色的网，
it would become
红
a
色的光
red
明网下降，
net of light,
把你
a
全身
net
都盖
of
住，
red light, and descending,
你
covering your
睡
whole
在红
body.
光里面，
And
红
you
色的光
sleep
明，
amidst the red light.
把它坚固。
And you say Om Ahom to strengthen it.
那这样子就是，当然我是讲的是最简单的，
Of course, that's the
还
simplest
有
ones.
比较在藏
There
语
are
里面
also
法里面还有比较复杂的，
more complicated
我是用最
ones
简单
in
的方法，
Tibetan Tantric
但是这
Dharma.
最简单的方法
I use the simplest
我都
one.
做不成，
But
为
even
什么？
then, I could not finish
因为
it.
我一上床，
Cannot
我单
finish
单
it.
往
Why?
生净土超生
Because as soon as I get on bed,
南无阿弥
being
陀佛
reborn in the Pure
了
Land,
知经明
leaving behind
然后
life
在
and suffering,
念佛当中，
may Golden
还
Mother
没有
be
开
in
始做
charge.
这个大光
And
明
I
场
would
的时候，
chant
我
the
已经睡着了。
Buddha Amitabha, and before I complete
有时候念
the sleep and
往
dream
生
yoga,
净土
I have fallen asleep. And sometimes I just say, be reborn in Pure Land.
我就没有了，
And I'm gone.
我真的好睡啊，
I really sleep well.
真的好睡，因为有人讲说年纪越大越难睡，
Some people say that the older you get, the
但是我真
harder
的很
you
好
fall
睡，
asleep. But not for me. I sleep so easily
真
and
的
so
一
well.
上床，
As soon as I get on bed,
其实师母现在也是很好睡，
actually,
师母也是很好
Simu
睡。
also sleeps really well nowadays.
每一次
Every
每
time
一次给她盖好棉被，
after I
就
cover
开始
her
帮
with
她做结
blanket,
界，
I would start performing protection for her.
然后我才念了
And
那个结界
I
才开
would
始做。
I only started my
was a
protection. I would
上天
chant
上地，东华大帝君，尧帝金妙大天尊。
the three
天王星
purity.
那加天数变数那加立定之时，
This is the
天人
Taoist
神
mantra.
天路难，天路无人。同时身边上万大众，慧光大众，普海大众，空空大众。姑娘身边百万众，我连续发的神通变化一个合尽，然后开始做结界，帮他做结
And
界，
then I start to do the protection.
然后整个绕他的房间一圈，
And then I would go in
做好
circle
结界。
around her room. And after I finish and I take a look at
已
her,
经没有心跳，
and her heartbeat is gone.
差不多我开始念的时候，他已经睡着了。
She's fallen asleep when I just
然后我就
started
帮他关灯
chanting.
啊，什么
Then
的
I
都
turn
帮
off
我
all
关
the lights
然后闹钟给他
and
给他
the
给他按一
alarm,
下，窗帘给他盖起来了，
and then draw the
给他关暗，
curtain,
我就轻轻的就走
and then I would
走回
walk
我自己
so
的房间。
softly back to my own
他也很
bedroom.
好睡，
So she also sleeps
最
really
近呢，
well.
他平时睡的时间很短，
And
但是他睡的时间
usually
比较短。
she sleeps
我睡的时间比较
for
少
a short time,
他睡的
shorter
时间
time,
短是
but I sleep longer.
有时候短到2个
She
小时、3个小时。
sleeps
他就
as short as 2 hours or 3
他最
hours,
近
and
比较
then
好，
she
因为
would
给
wake
他
up. But recently,
那
it's
个
better because
还
I
好
give her fu
那个
or
莲恩
talisman.
莲恩法师啊，
The
我
Reverend Lien En
莲恩法师从这里拿了符回去，
took some fu or
那我就
talisman
加
for
持
her.
他这
And
勉
then
强喝了，
I give,
从此以后就
I
很好，
bless it,
而且
and
睡
then
的时间比
she
较
took
长。
it reluctantly, and ever since
他不是
she
好睡啊，他
sleeps
睡的
well
时间又
and
长
longer.
已经长，
Not
just
just well, but longer.
这个
It's
口
getting
恩
longer.
这个
So
口恩
the
帮
Koan,
他拿的这个符回
the
去，我
Reverend
加
with the
持，
name, Chinese name Koan,
他时间就变长。
And she took a food, and I blessed the food, and then now she sleeps better and longer. That's a good sign. And one time, she went to the bathroom at 6, and then she woke up at 7. So peed at 6 and woke up at 7. I didn't say anything. So, the sleep and dream, bright radiance, Dharma. So do we need to redo it if we go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? No, no need. No need. Because when you do, if you do it one more time, then you would be awake and you would not be able to fall asleep again. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, the net is still there. So when you get back on bed, you would sleep inside the net again, the net of light. Just do it once. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Some elderlies, they have to go to the bathroom at night. Once is normal, and according to the doctor, twice is still normal. But 3 times, that's too much. So twice is fine. And the second question, a Tribuddha school disciple who normally practiced, and after he died, he was cremated, and then the ash sprinkled all over the ocean. Will it affect his descendants? Hey, let me tell you, it's none of your business. If it's a true Buddha school disciple who really practice, then he would be reborn in the Pure Land. Then you shouldn't worry about your descendants. They have their own causes and affinities, their own karma. Like for me, see, I wouldn't care. What relation is that to me? My son, my daughter, my grandson, my grandchildren. What relation do they have with me? If I'm gone, I'm gone. They will take care of their own business themselves. It's none of my business. In Chinese, there's an idiom that your children and grandchildren have their own blessings. Don't be their cows and horses to them. You've gone to the Pure Land, and why you keep watching your children? You would fall down from the clouds. Right? When you're alive, of course, you would care for your son and daughter. That's fine. And you care for your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren or the grandchildren of your grandchildren. That's fine if you care for them. But once you're reborn in the pure Buddha land, then they have their own affinity, they have their own karma. We'll let them take care of themselves. You cannot manage or control them anyway. Maybe you would think that Grandmaster has no feelings. How come toward his own son, daughter, or grandson, granddaughter, that he doesn't care at all? No, because it's impossible to control or manage them. It's their affinities. So therefore, it's very difficult to to deliver your closest ones, your loved ones.
所以每一个人啊，先把自己的事情。
So that's why each individual should just take care of his or her own business first. And then if you encounter someone that can be helped or delivered, then you do your best. We have this idiom, a couple are the birds of the same forest, but at the appropriate time or time of death, then they would go each their own ways. That really is true. Even a couple, you cannot care too much. I mean, you cannot control. Like, I cannot control Simu's life and death, and Simu cannot control my life and death. So we only responsible for our own karma. Each has to be responsible for their own karma. So the grandpa, yeah, anyway, so the question is that, will it affect the descendants? But the Buddha said, descendants are descendants, you are you. No relation. It's only where the affinities, when the affinities are gone, then go separate ways, all gone. And if the affinity is still there, of course, then you can care for them. But when the affinities has ended, then everything's gone. Of course, Grandmaster has feelings. It's not that he doesn't have any feelings. Of course, I care for my descendants, but they have their own karma, they have their own affinities, so they have to be responsible for them. So it's best to sprinkle your ash in the ocean. You are unrelated to your descendants, so it will not affect your descendants because it's not related at all. So according to Feng Shui, the earth or the ground burial would affect, and columbarium also has some effect because it's still bounded by the geomancy and the Feng Shui. So, but if you bury it in the ocean or sprinkle in the ocean, then it's no relation whatsoever. So today we will expound on the VajraSutra again. As I have said, therefore, should not hold the view of Dharma and should not hold the view of non-Dharma. And the key point is in the hold. As soon as you hold, then there would be form or phenomena or view. But you should not hold the view of non-Dharma. Although non-Dharma is no phenomena, but as soon as you hold, then there would be phenomena. And VajraSutra is talking about no phenomena, that you should not hold or take the Dharma. Like the Tathagata often said, Bhikkhus and all of you know that my Dharma teaching is like a raft. Even the Dharma should be abandoned, let alone the non-Dharma. So my Dharma teaching is like a raft. Even the Dharma should be abandoned, let alone the non-Dharma. This is the key point. This is a key point. I often say, Spiritual cultivation is like riding on a ferry that you're being delivered, you're being taken onto this ferry, and this ferry is going to the other shore. And the boat has arrived and you got off the boat. So do you want to hold to the boat? Oh, I don't want to get off the boat. I want this boat. What use is this boat for you? The boat is going back. You have got you get on the other shore. So if you're still holding the boat, that means hold. So when Sakyamuni Buddha gave Dharma teaching, he said, in spiritual cultivation, grasp on one point, but once you have the attainment, that point should be forsaken, should be thrown away. If you have arrived at the other shore, what use is the Dharma? Why do you still want the Dharma? Like us. So in this lifetime, we cultivate spiritually, and eventually we got to the Pure Land. And you're already the Pure Land. Do you still practice the Dharma? So the Dharma that brought you to Pure Land, do you still practice it? No need. You can throw that away. So the Dharma is like the raft. You ride on this raft and got to the shore. And do you still need the raft? No. So do you need you don't need the raft or the boat anymore. You don't need to go back. Once you get the Pure Land, it's non-returning. One-way ticket. So you don't need the Dharma anymore. The Dharma that you practice to get to the Pure Land is of no use anymore. And moreover, the non-Dharma. What is non-Dharma that's being mentioned here? Like feng shui consultation, that's non-Dharma, because it will not make you be reborn in the Pure Land. Or purifications, eradicating calamities that you cannot make them to be reborn in Pure Land. Or fortune telling, even if you're very good at it, it will not make you be reborn in the Pure Land. So these are all non-Dharma. Or you understand about the nine palaces, 9 zodiacs, or astrology. You cannot be reborn in the Pure Land. These are all non-Dharma. Sakyamuni Buddha has said, these are all non-Dharma. They are not true Buddha Dharma. Or the Ziwei Dousu, those are all fortune telling or divination. Ma Yi Xiang Su. Or by reading the face. All this will not make one be reborn in the Pure Land. Those are all just convenient practices. They are all non-Dharma. So even the Dharma that allow you to have the attainment of to be reborn in the Pure Land has to be abandoned. Moreover, the non-Dharma. So can you be reborn through feng shui consultation? No, impossible. That's not the kind of Dharma that would let you be reborn in the Pure Land. In the least, when you pass away, the Pure Land Trinity, Amitabha, Avalokitesvara, Mastama, Prapta should be appearing right in front of you and give you a lotus blossom for you in order for you to go to the Pure Land. Only this is the right Dharma of the Pure Land sect, the right Dharma of the Pure Land sect. And for our tantric Dharma practices, we have to make our own bodies to emit light, and by your own light, you go directly to the Pure Land. You transform into rainbow light, and you enter into the ocean of light. The child light meets the mother light. That's tantric practices.
这个东西才是属于正法。
All these things are considered the right
其他
Dharma.
的啦，
And the
武
rest,
术、三
like the
一
five
两
sciences,
卜熊卜卦，
uh,
我会那个
and
文王卦， 会
divination,
文王卦，
you know, the Wen Wang, the
三国，
king of
会
Wen,
八卦，
divination, or the 8
上
trigrams.
卦是什么，下卦是什么，你将来
You know, what is the
命运
first
是什么，
trigram and the
我都
next
会
one,
算得
and
出
what
来。
is your
那个不能
upcoming
往生的，
destiny. All these things will
那个
not
都是
let
非
you
法。
go to Pure Land. Those are all
你会紫
non-dharma.
微斗数，
You know 紫微斗数,
非法。
also a
会
kind of
风水，
divination,
看山看
non-dharma.
水，看
You know
山，
geomancy
看
and
馒
feng
头，看
shui,
星象，
checking the
不是馒头，
mountains.
峦头，峦头不是馒头。
The
你会
Rantou,
看，
the
对不对？
Xinxiang
看
astrology.
龙穴山水象，
You know
你
all
都会
the
看。
the
不能往
geomancy.
生的，
Even if you master that, you
只
cannot
是
be
让你
reborn in the Pure Land.
下一代好像可以称
Those
王，
only allow
有福
you
分，有
to
名望，
gain, to become blessed, to
在
get,
娑婆
to
世
have
界
good,
上有
great
用，
fortune, to
在
have
天上
fame
在
and
净土是没有用的，
name and become a
那都
king.
是非法。
So it's valuable on earth in Saha world, but not in the Pure Land. So those are all non-dharma.
所以我们今天修行啊，你以为啊，
So our spiritual cultivation today,
我看能够赚多少钱？
you think how
对不
much
对？
money
能够赚
can
多少钱？你
you
修
earn
跟防财神相应，
and
跟
you
真巴拉
gain
相应，
spiritual union with
你
yellow
也可以到
Jambala.
真巴拉那里去。
You can go to the place of Jambala.
四天王天，你可以去，
You can go to the heavens of the 4 heavenly
那
kings.
只是一个方便法。
That's just a
到了
convenient
四天王
dharma.
天，你还要修行。
And when you get to the 4 heavenly kings' heavens, you still have to cultivate
天
spiritual.
界
You have
才
still
是要修
continue.
行。
Even when you go to heavens, you still need to
所以
continue
释迦牟尼佛
cultivation.
在这里这一段，我这个
Therefore,
一定要讲
Sakyamuni
清楚。
Buddha said in this
什么是
excerpt, I have to explain it
什
clearly.
么是非法？
What is dharma? What is non-dharma?
所以释迦牟尼佛讲，
Sakyamuni
所
Buddha
有一
said,
切不是佛法的，
things
都要
other
舍
than
去。
Buddha Dharma should be forsaken.
何况是佛
Moreover,
法？
let
你已
alone
经到了
the Buddha
成就
Dharma.
了，到了净土了。
When
你
you
要那
have
些净土的
attainment,
法做
you
什么？
have reached
就
the
不
Pure
要了。
Land. Why do you still let the Dharma that bring you to the Pure Land? No need.
哎，这一段了解吗？
So do you
大家
understand this
很清
excerpt?
楚啊。
I explain it clearly.
来学佛，并不是叫你学看风水，学看
So
面相。
becoming a Buddhist is not teaching
我也知
you
道啊，
feng shui
眉
or
毛看兄弟啊，
reading face,
眼睛啊，
the eyebrows
智慧啊，
for brothers, the
耳朵啊，
eyes for
看寿
wisdom,
命啊，
the ears
下
for
巴看
lifespan,
奴仆啊，
the chin for the
头
servants and
看财
followers,
年啊，
and
看你
the
的钱
tip
财
of
有
the
多
nose
少啊，
is your wealth,
嘴巴
and the lips,
看
the
你的
mouth
运啊，看你的
is
运
your
啊，好
luck,
运坏运啊，看你
good
的嘴
luck or
巴。
bad luck.
这个眼睛后面的这
And
个看你的
the
桃花啊，
behind
这是面
the
相，
eyes, the tail of the
这是
eyes,
桃花宫，
that's your
这是
romantic
兄弟宫，这是智
love,
慧宫，
brothers,
这是才美宫，这
wisdom,
是奴
wealth,
仆宫，这是运气宫，
servants,
这
followers,
个是桃花
that's
宫，
luck,
这个是
that's romantic love,
耳朵啊，
and ears are,
来啦，长一点，
that's
长寿
pull it
就出来了，
for long life. So long life
长寿
ears
的
would
耳朵，
appear.
这个佛菩萨耳朵都很长。
The ears of
这个
Buddhas and
耳垂都
Bodhisattvas are
垂
all
肩，这
long,
样子垂肩。
and the ears touch the shoulders.
这个都是非法，
Those are all non-dharma,
不是正法，这个都不
not
能
the
往生
right
的。
dharma. they will not allow you to go to Pure Land, to be reborn in Pure Land. It doesn't matter how expert you are, you're a great doctor, you have a great medical ability, and you have helped many people. That's the foundation to raise to heaven. But you still cannot go to the Buddha land because you don't have the affinity to practice Buddhism. That's not the right Dharma. But you can rely on the non-Dharma to deliver sentient beings. You can go to the heavens, but you cannot go to the Buddha lands because those are non-Dharma. So now listen carefully the difference between the right Dharma and non-Dharma. Now you know. Don't think that fortune telling is Buddha Dharma or astrology is Buddha Dharma. That people that can call on the winds and the rains, you think that's Buddha Dharma? Or commanding the celestial generals and troops. You may be able to chant this mantra. You can command all the divine or celestial generals and soldiers, but that's not Buddha Dharma. According to Sakyamuni Buddha, they are all deviant paths. They are not Buddha Dharma. Grandmaster can chant that too. I command to execute the celestial generals and soldiers to execute immediately. Grandmaster knows that too. And then you would know who's in charge today and at this hour. This is all the 12 celestial. And then it depends on the hour period, and then you chant the mantra, and the God in charge would descend. And then after they listen to the command, we delegate and they would execute it. But this kind of things would let you go to Pure Land? No. At best, it would help you to go to heavens at most. So heavenly retribution, heavenly blessings. You think you're very blessed and you help many poor people and then you can go to Buddha land? No. You can only go to heaven. So this is the difference between Buddhism and other religions. So about this part, that the right faith is extremely rare. Chapter 6. The right faith is extremely rare. All bhikkhus know that my Dharma teaching is like a raft. Even the Dharma should be abandoned, let alone the non-Dharma. I extrapolated this piece very clearly. First day back to school, Xiaoming got off school and got home and very happy and told Dad, today the teacher asked a question and I was the only one raising my hand in the class. And Dad was very pleased. Oh, my kid is as good as me. And then he asked Xiaoming, what was the question? The teacher asked, who did not finish the homework for the summer vacation? And I immediately stood up and said, me. So he was the only one that could answer.
老婆跟老公在看电视剧，
The
是
wife
古装的战争
is
片。
watching
老婆
a
看着看着
TV
对
series
老公
with the
就
husband,
说了，
and
没
it's
想到这古
a
代的人是
classic
这么自恋。 老公疑惑地问，
like war movie.
怎么自恋呢？
How come they're so
老婆
chauvinistic in the
他们
ancient
上
time?
战场，
How?
你看他们
And
举
the
的
wife
旗子
explained.
上面还不是写那么一个
They
大的
went to
字
the battlefield
帅，
and they carry a banner that said Swai, which means general or also
告诉你
handsome.
知识不够，
That means she
他知识不够，
lacks knowledge.
这老婆的知识不够。所以
She
我们
did
今
not
天
know.
学佛的人呢，知识
So
要
as
够。
Buddhists, we should have
像今天讲金
enough
刚经，
knowledge. Like today in
你
expounding
知
the
识够了，
VajraSutra,
你就能够分辨。
if you have enough knowledge, then you can discern.
你知识不够了，
You can
就被蒙。
differentiate. If you don't have enough knowledge, then you would be muddled,
你以为你会算命，
befuddled,
你会神算，
and you
你会怎么
think
样
that
子？
you
算
can
算东算西，算南算北，你
tell
都可以算得
fortune
出
and
来。
you can do
什么样子
divination,
都
this
来，
and that,
没
and you can
用，
do everything, but those are useless.
上不了净土，
You cannot go to Pure Land.
那不是佛法。
Those are not Buddha Dharma.
你以为你会神通，
You think that you have psychic or
神都没有
supernatural
通啊，
powers.
鬼通啊，
You don't have connection with the gods. You only have
什么神通？
connections with ghosts. What kind
这
of
鬼通，
psychic
不是
power?
神通，
That's not
还是有乱七八糟
transcendent
通。
power with the divine, but with ghosts. Maybe they're
什么
all
通？
just
你
mess.
能够通
乱
到
七八糟。
佛法才是正法，其他的都是邪法。
Only if you
神
can
通也是邪的。
go to the Pure Land, that's the right Dharma.
当然你
Any
有
other
产生的力
supernatural
量出
power
来，
or psychic or
你成就
transcendent
了，
power,
你就
they're
就
all
自然产生
not.
力量出来。那
But-
只是一个附带品啊，
but
并不是叫你
if
追
you
求
have
那个东西
attainments,
啊。
you would have such power as a side effect,
你
you know.
执迷于神通，
So,
那你
but
完了，
it's
你
not
上不了
that.
活佛净土。
So if you are attached or you
通什么
get
通？
caught up in all those
告诉你，叫你
power,
变命。
then you're dead because it would be impossible for you to go to Pure Land. You know,
变密就不通了。
transcendent power. This is a play of word of
好，今
Chinese.
天就讲到这里。
It rhymed with constipation.
非常感谢法王圣尊莲生活佛宝贵的法语开